In what areas of the game do you feel like your team is fairly advanced, and in what areas do you really need to work on these next couple of
We
practices?
spent a lot of time on transition defense early. I think our transition defense is better than our transition offense right now. We're spending a lot of time on positioning defensively, but our rotations probably aren't as good yet because we've got to get our footwork right on how you play the ball. A lot of time on spacing and making the next pass. Though the other day on 0 or 1 passes, we were, I think, 3 of 18. And they got to learn that's not what we're doing. And it's so every time I think we've got something that we're in the midst of being pretty good at, then you get into the game and you have game slippage. But transition defense, rebounding the ball, even though we're not as physical as we need to be, and trying to understand the spacing, I think those are things that are important.
Coach, how much better has Yogi gotten this offseason?
I think he's better in every area. I think he's better shooting the ball. I think his strength is certainly better, even though it was pretty good. You know, people forget Yogi has, in the last 4 years, he's been in the state finals, won 2 state championships, and won a Big Ten championship. It's a lot of winning. You know, there's a lot of sophomores in this league getting a lot of recognition. Yogi, Jeremy Howell, Hunter Perea have the ring. You know, and they need to remember that they have a ring, or they're going to get a ring. We haven't gotten the total design yet, but they have to understand that they were a part of that winning. Now, what are they capable of to keep that going? And that's the pressure I want them to feel. Not the pressure of expectation, but the pressure of practicing and playing hard and competing every day. In answer to your question more with Yogi, now he has to raise the expectation level of doing it right all the time, for himself and for his teammates. But he's shooting the ball better. I think he's going to have to get to the foul line. For us, he's going to have to get more defensive boards. He's got to be a great ball distributor. But there's no question he's going to be the focal point. But it can't come in just 1 or 2 areas. We're not a team where it's going to be volume shooting. Now, volume scoring, we're good with that. We scored 79.5 points, but we're not a volume shooting team. We're a team that really gets the next pass made, and if we're running and defending, we'll score a lot of points. And I think he's the kingpin of that.
What do you feel like he's been able to learn from Evan Gordon's experience, and what do you feel like he's also been able to teach Evan during the
You'd have to ask them that. You know, I don't. I mean, it's all new for Evan, so you'd have to ask Jody that question. I mean, it's the pace of what we practice at, the level of expectation of how hard you have to go day in and day out. That's a little different for Evan. We're trying to stretch his game, even though he really understands the game. He's strong. He's got the quickest hands of anybody I've ever coached. I mean, of anybody. Just pure hand quickness. So he's going to really help us there. Those two can play together at times, but I'm not sure that's what we'll do. I think it's going to come down when we learned a lot last year when you played 2 small guards. It only really caught us at the end. And a lot of that was because Jordan wasn't healthy all week long and never took a physical hit throughout that week of practice leading up to the Syracuse game and took a cortisone shot, 45 minutes before the game. So that was the one time, but Jordan could shoot so well that you could offset some of that. I'm not sure we're there right now. So I'm sure they're learning from each other. They play well together. I think they complement each other when they've been in practice. We'll see how that transfers to games.
How good was it to have Stan come back strong after that injury? Were you worried at all when he went down?
No, I wasn't worried. I was just more concerned that players have to understand the difference between being hurt and injured. And there's very few players, even at this point in the season, that feel good every day. And, but we were patient with him, and the doctors cleared him, and then I think he learned a lot about himself. I think he learned he had some things in the tank there. I don't think he's felt bad. It all probably tired. I don't think the soreness that he has is from anything other than the fatigue of his body, not using a lot of those muscles and joints for a couple of weeks, but almost a month. But it's been good to have him. He's right back to attacking the basket, and but he's got to earn his way back in because he missed invaluable time as a guard. I mean, because he's a multiple position guard, and when you have that, and especially he's going to have to guard a lot of bigger people for us. So he's lost some of that in practice, and we've got to get that back. But it's good to have him back. Good to have them all back there.
What do you want Jeremy Holloway to become this year?
A guy that has consistent energy. And I know his goals. I know what he wants to accomplish. And it's really going to come down to a consistent level of energy. It's going to come down, he's multi-positional right now. I think of all the players on our team, he might be the most multi-positional. And can he make those switches that you have to make from going from one position to the other inside of the game? I think that's going to be really important for him, but he's smart, so I think he'll be able to do that. But he's got to be able to have a real consistent level of energy. He's got to communicate in whatever position that he's in. He's got to rebound at a high level, and then he's got to be a good percentage shot maker for us, and a very good percentage shot maker. He's as good a pure post up as we have, but he's also turning into being one of our best ball handlers and drivers and setup players. And he has been thrust into roles that he may not have thought he was going to be in for already this season, because we haven't been very deep in the backcourt, and then losing Stan set us back. And I thought he's thrived pretty well in that. And now it's got to be consistent level of energy.
The old cliche, it's hard to get to the top as hard as when you have to reload. Is that the time when you find out just where a program is?
Maybe. Our program is in great shape. The program, even through all of this, was never in bad shape because the fans and the tradition was so strong and the support was so good. The teams weren't very good, so now the teams are better, which is important. The program's really good. I think it is what it is. We got one of the two youngest teams in the league. And even our sophomores, with the exception of Yogi, didn't play very much. I mean, Jeremy played some and played in some good situations, but he played some, and Hunter missed a lot of time, and Peter Jerkin didn't play at all because of the red shirt. So to me, we just got to, I think the biggest thing we got going for us, if I'm looking at it long term, is the upside. And Troy Williams has all the tools. Now he's got to get the skills to match with the tools. He's got all the attributes: quick twitch, athleticism, length, speed. He's got it all. Okay, so now he's just got to he's got to slow down a little bit at times, and he's got to get the skills that match it. When will that come? That takes time. And it takes time, especially in a league that knows how to defend, knows how to take people out of what they want to do, has strength and some physicality to them because they're older. So that's kind of where it's at. How quick can we mix in with that? How much better can our skills get? And can we gain confidence? And when we do get knocked around a little bit, not lose the confidence we haven't built up yet, And because then all the experience of having a great program, that doesn't help you. What helps you is guys that have been through it, that know how to get through it. And so we got to go through it again, but they're talented, and there's a high level of humbleness and want to in this group. I mean, a high level. I can't imagine a higher ranked group of guys, and again, maybe the rankings don't mean much, but a higher group ranking guys that really are hungry to get better. Now, if that doesn't stay up, and if that doesn't keep moving forward, then we take a step back. If that keeps moving forward, then we get better this year.